Ignite, from dreams to reality.
There are certain misconceptions about starting your own business. Some people put money before the idea, and they believe that if I don't have the money, then I won't be able to do the business. I don't believe that is true. My name is Tokunbo Talabi. I'm President CEO of the Superflux Group. Basically, what Superflux does is that we are the solutions providers to most of the financial institutions when it comes to transaction processing. So we make sure that they go to sleep while we work for them in the areas that we have expertise in, which is check production, certificates, and we do quite a lot of security printing. We do automated mailing. Before now, if you are buying any secure document, you literally have to pick the security features you wanted. So 2 different documents can go through different parts in production, and that will give a lot of divergence in terms of cost. So what we did was to standardize a production line. Although we were not producing here, but we made sure that the manufacturer, which was Kalamazoo for us at that time, set up a line that has incorporated all the latest features and all that. So we sold it as a bouquet rather than a la carte. I think the first challenge is overcoming your own fear, really, because there are a lot of anxieties when you want to leave a very well-paying job and you don't really know how the wilderness is. And so that was, I think, the time that you will be afraid, or you have some anxieties about what the future is going to hold for you. So for me, that was the period. Once that initial thing, that period went over, all that we just concentrated on is putting infrastructures in place. Most of the machines we have are just maybe one of its kind in our own environment. So if somebody has not driven a bicycle before, why do you want to put him to drive a car? So if the technician does not know the basic rudiments of a machine, why do you want to give him top of the range? So we basically had big challenge in training our manpower. So we send people abroad for training. We bring expatriates here to train them. And believe me, we've come a long way with that, and we're making progress. There is a key buyer attribute in Nigeria. You might be negotiating a contract for like 2 years, and then when they want you to deliver, they want you to deliver like yesterday. So we just sat down in our strategy session and said, look, if this is what the market wants, anybody who's going to be successful has to do that. So we build capacity so that we can turn things around for you fast, because if you mess up, we mess up. That's just the bottom line. The only advice I have for people who are looking for what to do is look for what you will ordinarily do for free, that you enjoy doing, that consumes you, and then see how you can make money from there.
Ignite, from dreams to reality.
All along, you've spoken quite a bit about your values, but I want you to take it on right now, because the last session I had with them was about their value system, ethics in business, and how it's major and it's core, how it can be expensive, it can be difficult, sometimes you're not popular, many times you're slower than your peers, but for sure you will outlive your peers in business, doing the right thing. So I want you to, and I know that's a major part of what you do, yes. I want you to take it on and talk to them about that. With real examples.
Let me give you the most, the example that comes readily to my mind is when we were setting up the factory, we had to take a loan from the European community, some million dollar loans. You don't have to worry yourself about that. And one of those people who came says, look, for what you are doing, you qualify for pioneer status. Pioneer status gives you some rights.
5 years.
5 years,
tax-free.
Tax-free and all that. But we didn't know that. So first thing you need to learn is also know everything that is associated with your business. It is very key. And that's one of the things I learned from that area. Then we went to I'm going to give you an example of the Nigerian system and how if you are focused on what you want to do, everything, I just believe that everything will work for you. There's no way. You may not understand it, but once you are true to your belief and you have good ethics and you have good, they call it corporate governance these days. We went to the place and we wanted to do, and I'm very open about what I feel, because there are so many cases like that, and I'm not going to cover up for anybody because I felt the pain myself. So if I'm talking about it, I'm talking for real life. So we went into putting the processes and all that. And then we called one of the officials there to say, look, we haven't gone through this before. Can you help us to guide us through the documentation process? I thought I was making an honest request, but I didn't see it as a trap for structuring, as they call it. So the guy called back and said, this is what we are going to take. And I'm like, no, I didn't need that arrangement. That's not what I meant. Just give us a list. Or if you have a consultant who does that, then the guy gave me his staff as the consultant. And I said, I'm sorry, it compromises my belief. And then the consultant spoke to me, that same guy, and says that this is what it's going to take. And I said, even if I take somebody from outside, this is not the kind of figures we're talking about. And the guy went ahead and said, do you know how much savings you are going to make? Then the red flag came up and said, no, I'm not in this business to come and share government package with you. You are a staff of. And then for 2 years, the man will not budge, and I will not budge. For 2 years, they deprived us of that status until the man left that seat. The next person came. As soon as, of course, I looked for people outside. I took a private consultant to do that for me. As soon as I heard that there had been changes, I called my consultant and said, go back there now. Something is going to open. And the person we met there just said, we cannot believe that they've not done this. And within a week, all the papers were signed. All the papers were signed. And there are so many cases like that. So you will lose some things because some people will. But I can assure you that the things that you gain are going to stay with you because you are not going to be in a hurry to give the value that you have achieved out. Now, nobody can talk to me about a government package. Somebody sees that as like a privilege for you. But if you go there, you see other nationals, specifically Asians. They know what they are doing. Yeah. They know all the benefits around them before they even start the business. And they will do whatever they need to do. But that doesn't mean that you still cannot compete with them. I don't believe there is anybody in Nigeria today that I cannot compete with. I don't believe it. Because we put structures in place. The key buyer advantage for me in Nigeria is that they will always take their decision last minute. And last minute is not the time for you to go and import. It's here. So if I have to stock some paper for you in anticipation that you are going to mess up, I will do it. And it has always worked.
Now, once you've done it once and you know you can survive it, you become more encouraged to stand firm when you see wrong things being thrown at you. But once you allow yourself, most of the time, it's because we think, I can't afford the time. Oh, I can't. Yes, you can. It would hurt you more when you're smaller. But Yoruba people say, "Ọmọ tó máa já ṣàmù, àti kékeré ló ti ṣẹnu ṣàmùṣàmù." What you want to become as an established business, you cannot say, I can't afford it now because I'm small. It's when I become big that I will start operating in those values. You will never do it. Because you're already used to doing the wrong things, and you built the reputation of agreeing to deals. So you cannot go back to say to them, hey, I can't do it, I don't do it. They say, what? Didn't you pay Mr. X? Didn't you pay Mr. Y? But you know what they call people like us? Mad people. You know what happens? The next time anybody in that office has to deal with a superflux of that one, he won't pay you anything. I bet just let his paper go. They will let your paper go even faster. You know why? They want to get rid of you so they can have time for the people that will pay them.
One of the values that that is the process that I would recommend to you. But there's something that comes with that value, boldness. You must be bold to confront the principalities and powers, as they may call it. And believe me, it works. If you are bold, all these things we're talking about is very easy. But if she recounts and each time how much you've gone there to fight, to say, well, I'm not going to do this thing, and you will talk to them one-on-one, and they will be wondering, they will be amazed at the boldness that you are. Some people will even think that the only reason why you are that bold is because you have a big guy somewhere who is looking over you, and otherwise, why will you talk to a custom man like that? I fight big time, and it is in the process. I'm trying to get into
make friends.
Yes, at the end of the day, they respect you.
Okay, let's open the floor for questions.
But my question is this: you talk about groups, that you have some peer groups, responsibility groups, that you've been together for so many years. I want to ask that you said you are in different professions, and at the same time, you people come together and do some other things. How well do you think this kind of group they talk about could work with us that are coming up on stage? And at the same time, you mentioned of some things on our values, that we need to be bold, we need to be this, we need to be that. Now, this time around, it's like the government of Nigeria now, they're not giving the young entrepreneur to be bold enough to just come out, because they don't give us the even environment to even come up and say this. How can we, as new entrepreneur, be able to stand bold, sir?
Okay, third question.
My name is Tunde Joseph. My question goes like this. Sir, when you first started this vision, I see it as a vision. When you first started, what was your first capital? And presently, how did you get your mentor?
Let me take the last one first. Like she told you, I left Guarantee Trust just to start this business. And the reason I left is because I couldn't sustain my day-to-day, even with that good-paying job, because all of us come with Gucci shirts and tie, but the pocket is very light. So the best you see of most bankers is the way they come out. You know, what you see is what you get. So when I left, there was nothing. I didn't have capital. The thing I know that we did with my wife, which is was that we were doing night vigil very often, every day night vigil. It shows that in every situation, even though you are bold, you still have anxieties about life. And you go to a superpower to help you solve that. So I didn't really have any capital to do that. Mentoring. There are 3 stages of mentoring that I have seen. How did I go through my mentor? I select them. First, I told you the story about the guy I went to meet, and at the time I was going to meet him, I was already bigger than he is. So he cannot be a mentor to me. So I need to look for somebody else who is mentor. So I have quite a few mentors around. That's that level of mentoring. The second level of mentoring is the peer whatever, because we know our history. We started together, which is coming to your question about forming a peer group. You are 3 different people. Because you are in 3 different businesses, you have fresh ideas. People look at you at things differently, with diversity. And then you are not, things are done out of the box. It's not conventional the way you want to do things. And you know everybody's strength in your group. So clearly, that is another form of peer mentoring, which even for me in my private endeavors now, I'm trying to put people together to say, look, you 3 of you come together and set up. Let me just mentor you guys to stay together and grow together. You know, there's something about growing together, like history. You can, and those people will listen to you because they know your history. They can tell you, guy, this is not how we started. They can caution you. That's why we call responsibility issue. So I'm responsible for my peer. I'm responsible for my brother. He's responsible for me.
Ignite, from dreams to reality.
What do I like? I like what I do. I like going on holiday with my family. And I like my car. I like gadgets. And I like my bank.
If your bank were us, you would like us too. Since 1894, we have built a strong and stable financial institution based on insightful local know-how, global reach, and a commitment to deliver to you world-class innovative solutions. First Bank, truly the first.
Ignite, from dreams to reality.
I mean, I know all 3 of you, but I imagine that one of you now thinking because he's now successful. And when they started, they were not at this level. So don't mix it. Remember they said they've been together for 14 years.
14 years, yes.
Okay. But imagine one of you saying, oh, he's falling in love with one other woman. He wants to marry a second wife. What will the pair do?
Well, it is... I think we've gotten to a situation where we can go into the bedroom and say to the madam, please, excuse us, because this man has to listen to us now. And until he listens to us, because you see, in every decision, there must be two people against, there must be a majority. So if two of us are against him, anytime he wakes, we're hounding him. There are cases where some of us tend to do something, not in terms of women, but in terms of maybe this business, don't do it. And he's bent on doing it. We can't control him, but every day we tell you the implication, and we stay on you. He wants to do a purchase that we don't think is right for now. So I will call, okay, we have a person we call chairman of the group who is elderly to all of us, is a little bit older than us. So we say, chairman, this is what A wants to do, B wants to do. We will even sit down. We've gotten to cases where we've called the wives also to say, look, this thing, we need to tell you what this man wants to do. So you two put pressure on him at home. It is what I can call lifestyle. We manage our own lifestyle. We manage each other's lifestyle. It's gone beyond the business of making money. It's also children's school. For instance, if you feel that your child should go to this school and you are kind of, well, then we'll say, okay, fine. We are going to enroll your child in that school for you. The shame, because we know everybody's balance sheet, we know you can afford it. The shame of me paying your son's school fees will make you go and pay that money.
Now, before Tokunbo continues, look, I don't want you to get caught in the fun and excitement of the moment and miss the real point. Do you know what is important about what Tokunbo and his group, what they do, is that your total life affects your business.
Yes.
Your home life will affect your business. Everything about you will reflect and rub on your business. And we both can tell you that we've had enough experience to see people we know who fear nobody. See, there's a risk that as you begin to succeed in business and money comes into the pocket,
you become isolated.
the temptation to begin to feel like a god is real. But most times, it's the same thing that can bring a man from the top of the ladder straight down and out. So having an accountability group makes you, imagine if a lot of people in public office have people they're accountable to. Who can say to them, are you crazy? How can you be governor of a state and everybody is dying? There are no roads and money is going this way. Do you know the implication of what you are doing by law? And you have right thinking, not sycophants. And that goes for husbands, wives, businesses. Your career plan is beyond you. They said 2 heads are better than one. In their case, it's 3 heads they've turned into one. So you can think outside of the box for each other and check each other, because the risk of becoming a god is real, especially in business. So you have people that report to you, so you feel like a god. You already control the lives of other people. You have money coming from business. You can feel like a god. You have temptations that are real every day. You need a voice of love that does not consist of envy in any way, that you know they're not telling you for ulterior motives, but are willing to tell you the truth. Many wives, for those that are married, are supposed to have that role where husbands allow them to. And many husbands should have that role as well in the lives of their wives, where couples understand that balance. But even as you have that, and they do with their homes, you still need a pair, friends that can look you in the face. Sure, your wife will submit to you a little. But in this case, these ones can knock you on the head if they need to. Yes. They're your friends. But you know, every time they're saying, They're not against you, they're for you. And therefore, it forces you to think about it a bit more. So you've got to listen to what he's saying because it has produced incredible results. And it's the thing I find most fascinating about the three of them. And starting where they were, all three in their group are the helm of their profession. They have the best in their group. They're best in each of their groups. And this is the process that helps them to get there because they respected that process and submitted to it. And part of our biggest problem as a society is our lack of accountability. Some CEOs of organizations are gods. Nobody can say anything to them. When you have people that can talk to you, you will think twice about many things. Even when you want to do it, that check will cost you not to. And it will keep you sane and will allow you to progress and succeed more.
Yeah. My question is, during the time of this testing of paying of bribe, how were you able to sustain your business and yourself? And another one that I asked is, how were you able to manage your short-time goal and long-term ambition?
Okay. Well, there's no period where I'm not constantly under pressure to pay. So it's not as if there's a 6 months, and then once you survive that 6 months, life continues for you. It is business has not come. So whatever is making the business not to come could be pay, or could be that you actually fail to cross the line or the hurdle in the business, pitching and things like that. But so there is no particular time to say, okay, once you survive or hold your stomach for 6 months, then after that, everybody will just know that, you know, so it's not as clear-cut as that. But it's just that the philosophy, what you don't have, you cannot miss it. So if I don't get the business from you, if it's a different thing if you give me the business, and then you now say pay, and I say I don't pay, and then you withdraw the business, that I feel that I've lost something. I never had the business in the first place, so I have not lost anything. So in terms of how we are surviving, okay, it is a philosophy of life. When we survive with that philosophy. When we fail with that philosophy. But the totality of it together is that I look at myself at the end of every year. Have I kept to my belief and my values? Yes. Have I progressed better than last year? Once the answer is yes, then I'm satisfied. So you really ask yourself. And then when I say, have I progressed over last year, do I still maintain where I want to be seen in the market? Yes. My position, number of clients, number of that. We do a lot of statistics on figures. At the end of the day, we are still ahead. So no matter what anybody will say, even people who work for me now, you cannot come to my desk and say somebody's asking you for money, that's why you're not meeting your target. I'll tell you, well, that's not a new story. It's a story of 20 years ago or 15 years ago when we started this business. So tell me something else, man. And people have come out to be very good because they now know the ethos and the ethics around the corporate governance of the, and it's not only in one company, in the various companies that are setting up. So I don't have to preach it to anybody. You don't even come near me on those things. Yes.
Ignite, from dreams to reality.
I just want you to remember a recap on everything that Mr. Talabi has said to you, and from things we've shared in the past. The value system and the ethic philosophy of your business is aligned with your personal values.
That's right.
And it's dependent on you, not your environment or your society. You choose what you want to do, even in the worst of societies. And over time, people will respect your position, and you'll make a way for yourself, even with that situation, by increasing advantages in other areas. 2, remember, no man is an island. Having an accountability group, a peer group that you can support, encourage, and challenge each other in terms of your goals for life will only enhance the things that you want to do. 3, there is nothing you set your mind to do that you cannot do.
Yes.
Just know there's a starting point, and starting small is not a crime. And sometimes you have a short-term goal. Like he said, he started first by being a broker, taking the orders for checks, ordering from a British company, and getting it back to the banks or the institutions here that needed the security documents. Eventually, he moved to setting up factories to produce those security documents in Nigeria. And as of today, producing in Nigeria and in Ghana, they employ about 250 people, and they're servicing Nigeria, Ghana, and about another 14 African countries. That's a Nigerian story. That's who we are. We have the capacity to overcome every challenge and every situation that can come before us. And in doing that, he does not pay bribe, nor does he get involved in deals. But he has instead increased their quality, their service, and their ability to meet the need of the customer, and taking advantage of the fact that the Nigerian environment, people do not plan. For some people, that's a challenge. But for the smart thinking business person, that's an opportunity. And that's what is done. Thank you very much, Mr. Falabi. We're very glad to have
you. Send in your comments, questions, and shout-outs to our Facebook page, facebook.com/IgniteTV, Twitter/IgniteTVNG, and check out our website, www.ignite-tv.com